This stadium is so big that people compared it to an airport. It has one of the largest moving roofs ever built, and in 2026, it will host more World Cup matches than any other stadium in the United States. This is AT&T Stadium from above. It looks less like a sports venue and more like a giant machine sitting in the middle of Texas. A machine built to host more than 80,000 people, designed to open and close its roof, and that cost more than $1 billion to build. But here's the question. If most stadiums already work perfectly well with a fixed roof, why build one this large? And why make it move? Before we continue, we're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers before the World Cup ends. If you enjoy architecture, engineering, and aerial stories from around the world, consider subscribing and joining the journey. Now let's head to Texas. AT&T Stadium opened in 2009. At the time, it was one of the most expensive sports projects ever completed. The budget exceeded $1.3 billion. And unlike many stadiums built around the same period, this project wasn't trying to blend into its surroundings. It was designed to dominate them. The building stretches across the Texas landscape like a giant steel shell. Its curved profile can be recognized from miles away, and even today, more than 15 years later, it still looks futuristic. The people behind the project didn't want a stadium that would feel modern for 5 years. They wanted a building that would still feel modern decades later. The stadium was built as the new home of the Dallas Cowboys, but football was never the only goal. From the beginning, the vision was much larger. The project was designed as a mega venue capable of hosting almost anything: NFL games, concerts, international sporting events, and eventually, the FIFA World Cup. AT&T Stadium was designed for around 80,000 spectators, but during major events, that number can exceed 100,000, making it one of the largest stadiums in North America. The roof is what makes this stadium different. Not the seats, not the field, not even the giant screen hanging above it. The roof, because covering a stadium is easy, covering a stadium this large is not. The architects wanted natural light. They wanted fresh air. They wanted the feeling of an outdoor stadium. But they also wanted protection from the Texas heat and unpredictable weather. Normally, you choose one or the other, open or closed. AT&T Stadium was designed to be both. The solution was a massive retractable roof. 2 enormous steel panels that slide apart when the weather is good and close when conditions demand it. From above, the mechanism looks surprisingly simple, but the engineering behind it is anything but simple. Each moving section weighs thousands of tons. Every connection must tolerate temperature changes, wind loads, and years of operation. And all of it has to work reliably in front of more than 80,000 spectators. What makes the structure even more impressive is the span. The roof stretches across one of the largest column-free interior spaces in sports architecture. No massive columns blocking views, no forest of supports. Just an enormous open volume beneath a giant steel frame. And that is exactly what the architects wanted. A space that feels bigger than expected, a stadium that feels more like a modern civic structure than a sports venue. But once the roof was solved, the designers created another problem. Because now they had a huge interior space, and they wanted everyone inside to see everything. That challenge led to one of the most famous features in modern sports architecture: the giant center-hung video board. When the stadium opened, the screen immediately became a global talking point. It wasn't just large, it was absurdly large. At the time, it was the largest high-definition video display ever installed inside a stadium. And it completely changed how people experienced the building. From almost anywhere inside the stadium, the screen dominates the space. It became part of the architecture itself, not an addition, not a piece of equipment, part of the building. And that perfectly reflects the philosophy behind AT&T Stadium. Everything is oversized. The seating bowl, the roof, the circulation spaces, the structure, even the technology. The project wasn't designed around efficiency. It was designed around spectacle. And whether you love it or hate it, that's exactly what it delivers. From the air, you can see how different it feels from older stadiums. Most sports venues are designed around the field. AT&T Stadium feels as though the entire building became the attraction. The game happens inside it, but the architecture is part of the event itself. That's one of the reasons it caught FIFA's attention. In 2026, AT&T Stadium will become one of the most important venues in the FIFA World Cup. More matches will be played here than at any other stadium in the United States. And that wasn't an accident. FIFA looks for more than capacity. It looks for infrastructure, accessibility, operations, and flexibility. AT&T Stadium delivers all of them. The venue was designed from the beginning to handle massive crowds and global events, which means it needed far fewer changes than many other stadiums preparing for the tournament. And that's the hidden advantage of building something larger than necessary. Years later, it is still ready for events that didn't even exist when the first drawings were created. That may be the most impressive part of the project. Not the roof, not the screen, not the billion-dollar budget. The fact that a building completed in 2009 still feels prepared for the future. In just a few years, millions of fans will watch matches here. Many of them will remember the goals, the celebrations, the moments on the field. But long before the players arrived, another story had already been written. A story about scale, ambition, engineering, and a simple question: how big can a stadium become before it stops feeling like a stadium? AT&T Stadium might be the closest thing we have to an answer. If you enjoyed this aerial journey and want to keep exploring remarkable architecture from above, join us. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers before the World Cup ends and continue discovering incredible places long after the final whistle. Our next destination is already waiting. Until then, keep looking up.